Hello children, I think you have seen the first class on atmosphere, that is composition of the atmosphere and meaning of atmosphere. Have you gone through and been thorough of the content? Have you done the assignment given? I think you would have written the uses of each gases in the atmosphere for the life on earth. Today let us move on to the next topic. We know that atmosphere is of layers right from the earth's surface. So today we are going to see the layers of atmosphere, otherwise known as structure of atmosphere. There are 5 distinct layers of atmosphere. Here it has been denoted in this figure. There is no clear boundary separating one layer from another. Each layer is uniquely identifiable because of its characteristics. They have the unique characteristics. They vary in thickness and are found at different heights from the surface of the earth. This diagram clearly denotes you the kilometer. It extends, that is troposphere, up to 10 kilometer, and then up to 50 kilometer, stratopause, that is stratosphere, and after stratopause, mesosphere, then thermosphere. Anyway, we will discuss it in detail in each slide. Now let us get on to the general discussion of the atmospheric layer. How they distinguish these layers based upon the temperature. First thing we must know about the atmosphere is as we go high, that is as we move towards the higher altitude, move upwards, the temperature decreases at a rate of 1 degree Celsius per 165 meter. So based upon the temperature difference, they have divided the layers into troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. These layers are being named from the lower order. That is, troposphere is the lowest layer. Exosphere is the outermost layer. Exo means outer. So outermost. Now let us move on to the first layer. That is lowest layer of the atmosphere. The thickness of this layer is about 7 to 20 kilometer from the surface of the earth. Right from the surface of the earth, this layer starts approximately 7 to 20 kilometer. They are about 14 kilometer distance in the equatorial region, that is around equator. And when you go to the pole, you can find only 8 kilometer of distance of troposphere. The reason is their temperature. Equator has high temperature, poles have low temperature. Because of that, troposphere is thick near the equator and in the poles it is thinner. The next characteristics very important is all the weather phenomena occurs in this layer. The reason is it is the only layer with water vapor and dust particles. How water vapor is in the troposphere? When the sun's heat evaporates, the water changes into water vapor. So the water in the earth is transferred to the air as water vapor. So what will happen is the lowest layer will have more water vapor, dust particles. As this atmosphere is exposed to the surface of the earth, they have more dust particles. Therefore, they are the densest layer. Densest means thick, more heaviest layer. So as I have discussed, temperature decreases. As we go high, the temperature decreases at the rate of 1 degree Celsius for every 165 meter. Right from the earth's surface, if you go 165 meter, you will get 1 degree Celsius less. Another 165 meter, from the earth, the temperature will be 2 degree less. I think you could understand the phenomena. This is called as normal lapse rate. Children, always have a rough notebook in your hand to take notes of what you listen, because it is not only the points in the slide is discussed. Also, we discussed so many extra facts. So, have a notepad or a note to take notes. Next, very important character of this layer is they act as a blanket. Why do you have a blanket during the winter? It prevents you from becoming cold. So the same way, this atmosphere, this particularly troposphere, serves as a blanket from extreme heat from the sun. And most importantly, as we go higher and higher, oxygen level decreases because the density of the air decreases. That's why mountaineers, while go trekking, they take oxygen cylinder with them, because when they go high, the density of the air decreases, that is the weight of the air decreases, because dust particles and water vapor will be less in it. Therefore, oxygen will be less, so people find hard to breathe. Next comes the layer stratosphere. So, the layer, the transition zone, that is change from troposphere to stratosphere layer, is called as tropopause. Always this pass, the middle layer, will get its name from the lower layer. So, therefore, the layer between troposphere and stratosphere is called as tropopause. This picture clearly denotes you about the height of it. That is about 6 to 20 kilometer. That is to the height of Mount Everest, a little high above it. And then most of the aeroplanes fly in this height. The next layer we could go is stratosphere. Above the layer of troposphere is the stratosphere. It is about 50 kilometer distance from the Earth's surface. Remember children, it is not from the troposphere 50 kilometer. It is from the Earth's surface 50 kilometer height it is present. This layer is comparatively dry. Why it is dry? Because of the absence of water vapor. Because water vapor only will be in the troposphere. So absence of water vapor make this layer very dry. As there is no water vapor, it is suitable for the jet planes to fly. Hope you have heard of the jet aircrafts. They fly in this height, that is in the stratosphere, because there is no stormy weather, because no water vapor, no weather phenomena. So no wind also. It is a steady layer, very calm layer. So jet aircrafts choose this layer to fly. And very importantly, the main characteristics of the stratosphere is explained in this figure. Could you understand anything from it? Yes, ozone layer. What's the ozone layer? Stratosphere is definitely known by the word as ozone layer. Stratosphere is the layer with ozone gas. What is the purpose of ozone layer? It prevents ultraviolet and infrared radiation. So shall we discuss on it? The ozone is found in this layer. This layer absorbs UV rays and safeguards Earth from harmful radiation, which is denoted in this image. Then this causes the temperature of the layer to increase, because the ozone is absorbing the sun's heat to the maximum. So how will be the temperature of the layer? It will be high than that of troposphere. Troposphere's upper layer temperature will be lesser than that of stratosphere, because stratosphere has ozone in it, and therefore the temperature will also be high. There is another name for stratosphere. They call it as ozonosphere. And then comes the next layer, mesosphere. So the layer between, or the region between stratosphere and mesosphere, is called as stratopause. I have told you the in-between region will always get its name from the lowest layer of it. So stratopause. Now let us have a small animation on the points we have discussed that will make you more clear and interesting of the layers we have discussed. Clearer?
Yeah. The troposphere is the layer of the atmosphere inhabited by every living creature on Earth and where all weather occurs. It extends from the ground to roughly 7.5 miles above Earth's surface. Temperatures in the troposphere are constantly changing. As you climb an altitude through the troposphere, the air temperature begins to decrease, eventually dropping to 52 degrees below zero. Where the temperature in the atmosphere stops dropping, the second layer of the atmosphere begins.
The stratosphere!
The stratosphere contains the ozone layer. It protects every living thing on Earth from dangerous ultraviolet rays given off by the sun. The ozone layer has a higher concentration of ozone than anywhere else in the atmosphere. Ozone forms when ultraviolet rays from the sun split molecules of oxygen in half. After being split by the ultraviolet rays, the now single oxygen atoms attach themselves to unharmed O2 molecules, forming an O3 molecule, or
ozone.
The ozone absorbs harmful ultraviolet rays from the sun and converts it into heat. This warms the stratosphere from negative 52 degrees to negative 3 degrees. The stratosphere ends at approximately 31 miles above the Earth's surface, leading to
The
Is that an interesting animation, children? I think you have got an idea of how ozone is formed. From the sunlight, oxygen fuses with the sunlight to form ozone and how they prevent sun's ultraviolet and infrared radiation. So, today's class we have discussed only about two layers, troposphere and stratosphere and their characteristics. Very importantly, we should know about what each layer has its unique feature that support the life on earth, and the distance of each layer is to be learned perfectly. So, children, replay the video again, have a notepad or a note, special note or a separate note, and take notes of the points which we have discussed and seen in the animation. Tomorrow, let us continue with the other layers and then we will have a small worksheet on it. So, take effort in listening to the presentation more than one time. Take notes and study thoroughly. Learn the spellings of the hard words or the new words you have gone through in this content. Thank you. See you tomorrow.